All right, my friend, we are at the first lunch break. Are you awake yet? I'd rather suck a hospital mop or drink bleach or watch chrome rust. My God, this is just arduous, tedious. Is everybody awake? Have you forgotten what this is? This is a preliminary hearing. Let's go through this. Just a couple of things. Let me remind you. This judge, somebody said he's on the take. He's not on the take. Nobody's on the take. But he is very weak. This is what normally would have been done. Okay, fellas, ma'am, here we go. I'm the judge. We'll have a conference on the record, if you like, before this. How many witnesses do you have? Mr. Prosecutor, how many witnesses do you have? All right, let's go through each one. What is the detective? Boy, is this guy boring or what? Well, I found a gun holster. Did you do anything with it? No. Somebody writes heresy as evidence. No, hearsay. That's good. That might be an interesting pun, as it were. We'll go through this. The judge should have said, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to establish? What are you going to do? What exactly? What are you going to do with this man? He's going to establish this, and this. Okay, fine. Let's get to the point. You're going to rebut? I don't want to hear about how long have you been a police officer? When did you start the force? Do you have any children? Do you have any special training? This is a preliminary hearing. There's no jury. There is no jury. There's no jury. Let me say this again. This is just for the judge. The judge will say, excuse me, hold it. I know, officer. I'll take judicial notice of the fact that you're a qualified police officer and that you've been on the force. We don't need to go through. Go. Get to the point. The judge can even introduce. The judge can ask questions. Because the judge is going to find probable cause. I'm telling you. You know it and I know it. I don't care if they say, I don't know, I didn't even see anybody. What do you mean? I don't know. I didn't see anybody. You didn't see anybody? No, I don't know. I didn't see anybody. What? What? This is the most incredible thing. What? What is he here for? Normally, let me just say something. I'm not trying to be cute. The judge said, I'm the judge. What are you telling me about? Where have you from? Did you have a gun? Did you have any special training? It's just a preliminary hearing. I'm the judge. I know who this guy is. You don't have to worry about this. I'm telling you right now. Officer, what did you see? Did you see him shoot? No. Did you? Okay, next. I'm not being cute. That's exactly. What is he trying? What is he? Let me ask you. What has he accomplished so far? What has he told you? He saw a gravel. It appeared to be a sniper. Who cares what it looked like? What did it look like later on? Well, it looked like it was a satanic ritual. I saw chicken bones and a skull. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. What does this mean? I don't know. I don't know. So the bottom line is, let's get to the problem. What'd you see? Next, get to it. Now, let's talk about authentication. Remember how remember? You're right. Was that Don Jr. there? Was Don Jr. there? Why is Don Jr. there? Why is the president's son there? This is not good. As a matter of practical, this is what they did. Remember during the Manson case when Nixon says, as far as I'm concerned, they had to throw him or fry him or whatever it is. This is not good. Now remember, it's the judge. But the judge is going to say, do me a favor, get him out of here. Don't take any pictures. Don't take any pictures with Don Jr. Don't do it. This is what Judge Ito did. Remember Judge Ito? Who was it? One time, Judge Ito, Larry King came into court, and Judge Ito stopped and took a picture with Larry King and his daughter. Remember that? During the OJ case? This is incredible. Don't do this. I hope this judge knows I don't want to meet Don's Jr. Get him away from me. No pictures, no autographs, no nothing. Oh, so you're going to connect me what? I'm a Trumper, I'm a Trumpy. Trump right now is radioactive. Now remember, this is coming from me. I kind of like the dude. Well, I liked him then, but I'm telling you politically now, he's a pariah. Get away from him. What are you doing there? Whose idea was this? So Donnie is there with Erica. This is stupid. See what she's doing? Listen, you're going to blow this case. If you want, I don't even know why you're there. I don't even know why you're there. What are you doing? Let people listen to the facts of the case. Don't let them look at you, because she can't stay away from the excitement. She can't stay away from the smell of the grease paint. No, the roar of the grease paint, the smell of the crowd. She can't do it. Who is with Charlie Kirk's? Who is SS? Who is SS? Please. You know I'm terrible with the letters. I have no idea. Who is SS? Candace speaks. Thank you. He's a new member, by the way. Eric is dabbing her eyes. Oh, no, don't do the eyes again. I know she's got to do it. Who is SS, by the way? Who for the love of God is SS? Remember this. I'm retarded when it comes to initials. You could use my initials. Well, L, and nobody would do it. Sheridan. Stacey Sheridan. Okay. Well, look. God bless those people, those families. All right, let's go back to a couple of things here. So number one, I wouldn't do this. I would really want to ask, and I sure as hell, if I'm the prosecutor, say, listen, I cannot tell you, Erica, that you can't, but please don't make a show, even if this is a preliminary hearing. Don't think you're going to do this. Don't. No, and also, if you're going to do this, no autographs, pictures, selfies. No, hi guys, none of that stuff. You know she's going to do this. And that starts to create a funk, a lingering funk that permeates the entire event, if it makes any sense. There's this funk. It's this thing. Don't do this. And Don Jr., what are you, nuts? Go home with Bettina, your girl, your wife, and just stay out of this. Don't turn this into a circus. Let this be very, very serious. Make it look like Tyler got a very fair trial, whether he is or he isn't. Now, a couple of things. Authentication. How many times have I talked to you about authentication? Now, I kind of like the defense lawyer. I kind of like her. She's pretty feisty. And her whole thing is, did you hear the prosecutor say, is this a true and accurate depiction? You've heard me say that, right? Is this a true and accurate? Your Honor, I'm showing you what's marked as State's Exhibit number 1 for identification. Do you recognize this? Yeah. Is this a true and accurate depiction? Yes, it is. Is this a true and accurate depiction? Yes, it is. Okay, fine. That's called authentication. This is normally if they show a picture of a corner of an intersection, and they say, now you were there, right? Yeah. Is this a true and accurate depiction? Now, you don't have to take the picture yourself. The thing is, you're saying, does this depict this? Not that I took the picture, but this is it. If somebody drew a sketch, all you're saying is that before we even talk about this, is there some kind of a connection that we can make? The answer is yes. Yes, there's a connection we can make. Okay, fine. That's it. And they were arguing, and it's okay. And I like that, by the way. Object. That's it. Object. And cross-examination, don't. I don't know what the purpose of this is. Cross-examination gives their witness a chance to correct things. If you have him say something stupid, let me give you an example. He says, I I found a holster. I found a holster. Okay. I found a holster. Okay. This is Officer Bagley. Now, here is the story. Let's say I want to say, or you want to say, hey, this Bagley didn't even check the holster. Could it be he didn't even check the holster? I don't know. What if he did check the holster? I don't know. Should we ask him? No. Our good friend Michelle Herbert says, why was Nestor objecting to the pictures, but not objecting to what the officer said he had a rifle shot? Well, good point. The officer said it sounded like a rifle shot. It's kind of like an opinion. Remember, this is probable cause. This is a preliminary hearing, and it's for a judge. There's no jury there. And you're right. Why is she objecting? The pictures, she's talking about authentication. Is this really, how do we know? She's kind of being a bit of a dick. I hate to say it. I mean, it's okay. When you object repeatedly, it throws the guy off. It really does. It's like, oh, for the love of God. Now, sometimes the court can say, enough. Because the judge could say, do you think I'm going to be prejudiced by it? Do you think, seriously, a judge could say, excuse me, I'm the trier of fact here. I'm the one listening to this, not the jury. Are you suggesting, why are you objecting? I'm a judge. You think I'm going to be, what? I'm going to say, oh, hey, these pictures. Well, nobody authenticated them. So it doesn't really matter. It's okay, though, in a way. Kind of lets this guy know he's very good. Oh, did you hear this? My favorite was, Your Honor, I'm not offering to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Just the fact that it was said. Res gesti. Oh, what bullshit that is. Let me explain to you that one. In court, remember, again, preliminary hearing, the rules of evidence are, you know where it's really, where there's no evidence? Small claims. You ever been in that? There's no court at all. There's no evidence at all. You just say what you want and introduce what, anyway. Hearsay is an out-of-court statement that is offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. That's the rule. Now, that's the weirdest phraseology there is. It's an out-of-court statement. Why does that matter? Because it wasn't under oath. Plus, we don't have demeanor evidence. We don't know how the person said it. But it's an out-of-court statement which was offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. To prove the truth of the matter asserted, what, for example, I saw a guy and he told me, yep, Tyler Robinson shot Charlie. Where is he now? I don't know where the guy is. But this guy told me, yep, I saw Tyler Robinson shoot Charlie Kirk. Let's assume that was a statement. That is hearsay like you can't believe. Why? It's an out-of-court statement because the person is not there, right? It's not under oath because he's not there. And it's being offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, meaning I want this statement to be true. He is saying, he's like testifying. He's testifying without a witness. He says, yeah, I saw him. It's like, no, that's hearsay. You can't do that. Now, if you were to use it for some other reason, for example, if somebody said, hey, I saw Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk, and I introduced that statement, that might be, remember, we got a problem with the jury there, but that might be just to prove why I pulled Tyler Robinson over in the first place. I'm introducing the statement, Your Honor, just to show you the probable cause he had. Not that this is proof that Tyler killed or shot Charlie, but that merely somebody said this, which provided probable cause. Now, if this doesn't make any sense to you, believe me, a lot of people never understand it. The point is, when you offer a hearsay statement, you always say, Your Honor, it's not to prove the truth of the matter asserted, but just the fact that it was said. Or take a statement which is clearly hearsay and have the person yell it. Hey, Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Objection, hearsay. No, it's the excited utterance exception to the hearsay rule. There's an excited utterance exception. What? Because it's trustworthy. See, in court evidence, we like to hear as much as possible everything. We don't like to keep things out. So it is with great pains that we will do everything that we can to make sure that everything's groovy. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense to you because it's weird. It's a strange concept. But you heard this before. And the prosecutor said, it is not to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Oh, come on. I know what you're doing with that. That means it is merely being offered the fact that it was said. It was said. Now, I'm not going to belabor the point, but that was good. I love hearsay. Hearsay is my favorite. In the rules of evidence, I love hearsay because there's 9 million objections and exceptions to it. Okay, that's one thing. They were also talking about, let me go back to what she said. And I ran over this. If the defense lawyer thought and wanted to say, so, officer, detective, you never processed that holster or evidence for print, did you? What's the risk? The risk is he says, no, I didn't, but somebody else did, or no, you're incorrect, I did do it. Why bring it up? Why give him the chance to correct himself? Why? I don't understand this. Just don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. And then at closing, what you say at closing is, and this guy didn't even process, you heard him, he didn't process the holster for prints. And then they're going to say, we never said that. Well, yeah, you did. But they never cleared it up. But we did process it. But you never said it. You never clarified it. You just said you didn't, and then you never followed up. So once the case is closed and the state or the defense rests, that's it. Maybe you can move to reopen the case. Maybe, which is extraordinary. If you leave something out, if you make a big mistake, the court has discretion to reopen the case. Oh, people go crazy with that one. So I don't know if that makes any sense. That's why I sit down, don't say anything. Listen to this guy. Let me say this. If there's one thing that I can tell you, one thing that Uncle Lionel can tell you, one thing, the rule of cross-examination, don't. Unless he's got that smoking gun thing that you can actually get them to admit, and it's never happened. So, you weren't even a member of the police force, were you? No. Okay. Great. Save it for trial. Let's assume this thing, they're going to, remember, they're going to grant probable cause. This thing just started. But anyway, don't say anything now. Wait till later. Why shoot your load, so to speak, now? Why do it now for a preliminary hearing? Wait till the trial comes. Do it in front of a jury. Then hit them with it. Don't show them what you've got. See, that's the risk. You've got, I know exactly. Just the fact that I get to see this guy next time is like, oh my God. He's just, I'd love during a trial something. Your Honor, objection. Can we wrap this up? Can we speed this up? You can't really do that, but there is an objection to the speed because it was so boring. And that I didn't, you see, if I go in there and I know this is who I'm dealing with, I've got tremendous confidence because I'm gonna outdo them with my own brilliant charm. I'm gonna go crazy. They're gonna say this guy's fantastic because I will be so different compared to this fellow. That's it. This went from I don't know what they even learned, what they got to the bottom of. It was like, this is so slow. Trial economy. Let me go back to something. If you ever watched a movie where there's no editing, you lose the audience. Pare it down. Don't show every little thing just to show things. Some lawyers think, this is great, I'm so thorough. No, get to the gravamen, get to the part of it. Tell me the story. What is it that's important? You have a checklist, and you have a checklist because you're going to forget. And you say, did I do the name? Did I establish jurisdiction? Was this in Orem, Utah County? Yes. Did all of this happen within? Yes, because you have to establish jurisdiction. Do you see the defendant? Yep, that's him. Is that the guy? Yes. Let the record reflect that the defendant has been identified. The record will so reflect. Good, I identified the guy. Is that the guy in the sniper position? Assuming that's it. Boom, 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 boom. Sit down. That's it. Boring. No big deal. No, nothing. No different. Teresa Blind Mom, oh my God, said Bagley said the shot came from the right, but he didn't look right. He looked down from his POV. He would have been able to see, he would have been able to see someone run off. Interesting. Teresa, thank you immensely. First of all, this is so kind. When I saw that red, I said, what happened? Something bad happened. You were very kind. I thank you. Let me say again what you're saying. In this case, in this fellow, and by the way, watch this. Chris Bagley, this is the police officer who used to work for UVU, where Charlie was. He's the main guy testifying. Okay, here's what I would tell you if we were co-counsel. You ready for this? I would say, write this down. Write this down. Don't say anything. Don't react. This is a preliminary hearing. If we see him again, then we'll bring it up. Because if we bring it up now, the judge isn't going to do anything. Judges are going to say, oh, why don't you say so? You know what? Forget it. No probable cause. Let him go. He's free. It's not going to happen. So we take it. See, this is the danger. This is the danger of the prosecution doing these cases. This is the danger of these people actually having these preliminary hearings instead of going to a grand jury, which is what I said, where all of this would have been done quietly, secretly, and there's an indictment. And that's it. And he would have been in jail and everybody's happy. But no, we have to let this out. So your point's well taken. Make a note of that and then later on say, and what do? This is how you do it. You tell Bagley, so you were here, right? Yes. And you heard the shot here, right? Yes. And you looked here, right? Yes. Okay. This is very interesting. Or to use Teresa's own words, Bagley said the shot came from the right, but he didn't look right. He looked down. From his point of view, he would, I guess, not have been able to see someone run off. Okay, good. So that's what you want to say. So how would we do it at trial? At trial, we do it like this. So, officer, is it true? You looked right, correct? Yes. And the shot came from the right, but you looked down, correct? Yes. Thank you very much. No further questions. So Teresa's very good. And Teresa would say to me, she'd probably tug at me and say, what about this? We get him at closing. We say we get him to admit this part. It's like telling a joke on this, and the punchline comes later. So, and when Bagley testified, he said the shot came from the right, but he didn't look right. He looked down. So he couldn't have seen it. He couldn't have seen it. Now, this isn't closing, and they're freaking out because they're saying, Bagley, did you say that? Yes. Shit. We should have clarified it. And I'm not going to let him clarify it. I'm not going to let him correct himself because I just sit there and I keep my mouth shut. And I'm not going to say anything during a preliminary hearing because of the fact that I want them to make all the mistakes they can. I don't want to I just want to sit there and say, Even the stuff about this business about the authentication, you just tipped them off. You just told the prosecutor, well, we're going to be ready for this next time. We've got the case law. Did you hear him say 42, 423 Pacific Second, 319? That's that west. That's a west. It's the volume, and there's Pacific. For example, in Florida, it's southern, northwest, southeast. Um, it's the citation. What's interesting about that is she just let everybody know that that's what they have to tighten up on. Why did she do this? Imagine that trial. Objection. Yes, you didn't authenticate. What? Now the jury's there. And the jury's thinking, he didn't do what? He didn't authenticate? Well, shit. You see, that throws you off and you get nervous and everybody's watching because now the movie started and the jury's watching, but you tipped them off to it. So they're going to clean that up. They're going to make sure, oh, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for talking to us about hearsay, letting us know, because the judge is going to find, I'm telling you right now, the judge is going to find probable cause. He ain't going to ruin his political career by killing the case of the century, and he will not be overruled. No appellate court will say, well, you should have not granted, or you should have ruled that there wasn't probable cause. It's not going to happen. So because it's not going to happen, and just learn, make a note of that. Don't say anything. But no, she told them all about all the hearsay and this. You just merely tipped them off. So what they're going to do is they're going to have all their case law ready. And they say, Your Honor, at this particular time, I'd like to show you the case of Marbury against Madison, 243 Pacific 2nd, where it says you do not have to take the picture and authentication. Thank you very much. And then this, and the hearsay. All you're doing is letting them know what to do. It doesn't make any sense. Busy Bee says, help me, I'm stuck in a phone booth. I don't know what this means. Just kidding. Did the campus officer say he didn't speak with Charlie Kirk's security? I may have misheard him. No, I think he might have said that. That's very good too. Now, is that critical? Remember, you're going to hear all kinds of stuff. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff. Somebody said before, can you ask a cop, did it sound like a rifle? Sure you can. That's an opinion. But do you have any basis for opinion? Oh, yeah. Opinion evidence, for the most part, we don't like. We don't like any of that. How fast was he going? He's going 70 miles an hour. How the hell do you know? Are you an expert? You're just guessing. But if you say it smelled like onions, smelled like garlic, it sounded like a rifle, sounded like a baby crying, Okay. And if you've got, training and you're a cop, you can say things like that. That's an opinion. But for the most part, we don't like opinion. And that's a very, very good point. See, this is it. See, I would have every one of you, I would have you sitting there. And I'm going to say, just write down everything you see. Mention this thing about Don, wouldn't you love to do a motion to eliminate, Your Honor? Yes. Would you exclude Mr. Trump? Mr. Trump Jr.? Yes. Wouldn't that be something? Is that Trump country? I don't know. What does that do? Why are you doing that? Years ago, they used to have Joe Louis, the great boxer. He would show up sometimes to these events. And he would sit in the front row, Joe Louis. And he was, he would kind of throw things off, so to speak. He just, by virtue of his being there, it would be like, really like, wow, Joe Louis. So I'm wondering, do they think that's what's happening here? Do they think somehow this is going to be some, I don't know, but just make a note of that. But I would have every one of you sit there and say, you write down every observation. Anything you thought, any discrepancy, and let's see about this. Because if you say that, they're saying this. Sometimes being a lawyer can contaminate you. You don't notice the things that affect people. I'm thinking more about, is that appealable? Is that this? Is that? Something may bother you the most. And also I want somebody to say, keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this. And I want you also to notice, watch the defendant. I can't keep an eye on him. Tell me how he looks. And if I'm the defense lawyer, I'm going to sit there and say, I'm going to show you how to sit. Okay? You're going to sit. You are never going to lean over and you're never going to smile. You're never going to make a point. If anything happens, I want you to sit straight ahead and look like you're almost like in a daze, and some kind of, don't ever smile about anything. It looks, they're going to say, this son of a bitch thinks it's like, no, he might have heard we're going to eat or something. No, don't do this. Watch this. Also watch the testimony. And what do you think about this judge? This judge, absolutely, so far, weak. Weak. He doesn't have it. You want somebody to say, I'm going to run this show. And a couple of times he almost took what the prosecutor said and repeated it verbatim. It's like it wasn't even his own idea. He's very weak. He does not. I like judges who are strong. They command and nope. That's it. Ask your next question. And the big thing about during direct examination is what happened next? What happened then? What happened then? Some of this what happened then, is it that important? And were you there? Yes. And did you go to work that day? Were you so employed? Yes, he was employed. Yes. And where were you employed? He was employed with this campus police. Yes. Damn it. I'm a judge. It's a preliminary hearing. Get to the point. And did you go to work that day? Yes, he went to work that day. Come on. They break everything up. And did you drive to work? Yes, he drove to work. We know that. Get to the point. Were you assigned to an event? Yes. What was it? Charlie Kirk. Did you meet Charlie Kirk? Yes. What happened then? Okay. Where were you around 12:35? I was standing over here. And what happened? I heard the crack of a rifle. What happened then? Charlie fell down. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. What happened? I look left, I look right, I called the police. That's it. Next, have you satisfied the basis or the bases of your testimony? Why were you there? I'm here to establish I heard the shot. Great. Did you do it? Yes. Check. Get off. Next. Why are you there? Don't tell me about what was the weather like? What was it like? Was it a good turnout? Did you meet Charlie? What is he like? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this it? Did you see this? Why are you there? What is the purpose of this witness? What do I want to get out of it? What? Try this. Get to the point. Get to the point. This is the preliminary hearing. I can't say it enough. They could have said, what happened? I heard a crack of a rifle. At any point, did you ever suspect sniper? Because remember, direct examination, you cannot ask a leading question. You have to ask open-ended questions. Who, what, when, where, why? Who were you with? What did you see? Why were you there? That's it. General stuff. You can't say, isn't it a fact that you weren't there at the time? Isn't it true that you were later told? Isn't it true? That's a leading question. It's only for cross-examination. And you only cross-examine the other side's witness. So it's direct examination. Stop. You're done. You turn it over to the other side. Cross-examination. Redirect. Recross. So when the prosecution asks a question of the police officer, their witness, that's direct examination. When the defense lawyer questions the police officer, that's cross-examination. When the defense lawyer puts on, let's say, the defendant, that's direct. When the prosecutor cross-examines, that's cross. That's cross, right? Obviously, when he asks leading questions. That's it. It's whoever's in charge, whoever's witness it is. You can't lead your own witness. This is your witness. And the reason why is very simple. Under the rules of evidence, we don't like leading questions. Let them talk. Don't lead them. However, if it's the other side's witness, we'll give you a little leeway. We'll understand that you've got a room, you're going to nudge them. You cannot ask leading questions of your witness unless the judge, in some cases, can rule or can declare them as hostile, and we'll just leave it at that. Also, you can ask leading questions if it's background, if it's collateral, if it doesn't really matter. But that's that rule. But sometimes people, lawyers, some of them love to be so thorough to the point. Case in point, how about background? If you ask, you're a prosecutor. An officer, do you have any special training? Yes, I did. What happened? I'm certified by the Utah Drug Task Force. And how long have you been with? I've been with it 25 years. And during the Did you receive any particular honor? Yes, I received the Medal of Honor, the highest award, something. I saved lives, whatever. That's good. But people know you went to class and you got your badge, and we know that. Get to the point. The point is beautiful. A little leeway is okay, but just get to the point. This isn't, The Godfather. It's not build up. All I want to do is you give me the fact and I'll give it life in closing. Closing is when I put the story together myself, through my eyes, through my words. But I need you to testify, to give me this line, this fact, this act, so I can use it later on. That's it. Now, what we're going to see is some other stuff as well. Now, remember something. Do any of you follow on X? Or do you ever watch? This is the most important thing in the world. You got to see how people view this. Now, let me say something in case you just tune in. I do not like Tyler. I don't like him. I don't dislike him, like him, any of that stuff. I firmly believe and highly suspect, or vice versa, that he's a patsy. Because the stuff that should absolutely be crystal clear is missing. You don't have somebody found with a weapon that at first we learned the ATF. By the way, I can't wait to hear that, because there's a witness list of everything that's going to be offered. Let's see what they say. But right off the bat, they go, this case stinks. Why are they, what? So we will see this. This is when it gets real good. So this first guy, it's okay. But remember, I don't have anything necessarily involved in this. Green-eyed says, and I know, anyone know why Bagley left the UVU police? Curious. Great question, green-eyed ninja nurse. Make a note of that. Find out. I can ask. We can make motions. We can ask. We can inquire through our own investigators, but you can ask the prosecution, can you tell me about your witness? Remember, you're vouching for them. You're putting this one on. Did he leave for any particular reason? Something tells me that there may be something. It's very, very simple. You've got an investigator. Yeah. He shows up, and this would have been done before. Bagley, and you have ex-cops who work as your investigator. Cops who know this one. He went to school with this one. My son was in the academy with this one. I know the captain. I'll find out. That's the story. Zamet says, move over Mark Twain. Lionel is here. The zeitgeist visionary. Well, I thank you for that. But I'm most honored by that. Indeed. See, your questions are the best. Because I'm still looking at the, like the rules. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes restaurant people will say, oh, look at the presentation. Oh, look at the plate. Oh, look at this. Look at it. Boy, they brought it out quick. Tastes like shit. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I'm looking at the ambiance. Look at the way the presentation. Look at this. Oh, is this they use a puree. But how am I care? You're asking more for, you want to know something. You're a conspiracist. You suspect something. And if your fears are allayed, you'll move on. You say, okay, fine. That's an excellent point. You see, we'll get to the bottom of this. And remember, every time that the defense lawyer asks a question, ask why. Why? 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 Why are you asking these questions? What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose? Do you understand this? What is the goal? Why are you doing this? What was your purpose? That's all. And there is nothing more fun in trial than to say, no questions. I've got nothing. What? No cross? Nah, he didn't hurt us. Have a nice day. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. It's just the best you've got. It's almost like it just, it digs them. Now, what did you think? Somebody said, TR looks poorly. What do you think about Tyler? What do you think about his affect? Tell me, ladies in particular, what is it? Did he look like a killer to you? Did he look like, I don't know if you saw too much of him, but did he look like a kid? Did he look weak? What did you think? What did you think? What was your take of him? If he looks like if he was a big guy who had a lot of tattoos and a bald head, and he looks like some Aryan, sniper, whatever. But what did you think? What did you think about this? No way a kid. He looked like a kid. Okay, a kid. No way a kid. Did he look dangerous? Did he look... What was your take? How did he kind of come across? That's the part. That's the part. Did somebody do this? Well, what is this right now? I got this right here. It says somebody writes, I'll check with someone else. Sorry to disturb Lionel. What is this? What are you talking about? Ask away. This is great. I love the cordiality. I like to give and take some of the questions you ask. He looked ill, but writing intensely. I think he's clever. Very good. He's wearing a vest. Weak, frail and lost. Clueless. Probably on meds. He looked a bit pale. Out of it. Good. Lionel, you would come across as a more viable suspect. I think I would be far better looking. I would think I would look more, dangerous. I think anybody would. Listen, believe me when I tell you, if you don't think that means something, this guy climbed on top of the roof. He took this high-powered rifle, granddaddy's shooting iron, and he was so upset, so outraged by Charlie Kirk's very courteous and reasonable, mindful thoughts about trans and gender. And he was so outraged that he said, I've had enough. I've got to put an end to this. Who's going to believe this? But if you look at him and say, this guy? And then he took it up. Oh, did you see also when they said, and did you see, is that the screwdriver? Yes. That's the screwdriver? Yes, that's the screwdriver. Oh, okay. The screwdriver. Remember that one. Remember the screwdriver. Remember also, Tyler has not even pled guilty, not guilty anything. Nothing. He's pled nothing. He's just hanging around. So it just got started. Now, coming up next, we'll see at this particular point. Let me just say something. Your looking of this, your take is very interesting. Also, the courtroom. I don't like courtrooms that are compact. I like big ones where you're separated. I don't like defense and whatever. I don't like them too near. I like separation. I like when you have a clear designation between that's the prosecution and that's the defense. And I can't tell who are these other people and why are they there and that sort of thing. So we'll see about this. Now, it's also critical to watch X, which used to be called Twitter. And I'm going to be going personally to drive as many people as possible. Okay, Sally says, MK Ultra. I love Sally. Where does she say this? I know, I love MK Ultra. MK Ultra was never stopped. That is true. MK Ultra is something that, put it this way, you don't really need somebody to say, well, like let's say Tyler's parents. Well, it was weird. This guy from, I don't know who he was, took our boy and, well, they they went on some kind of job and he came back and he was acting kind of weird. And I said, who is that man you were with? And he said he was from the government. And, Gottlieb and Jolly West and the original Menticide and those people. This was actual medications making you act nuts or accordingly. I think it's overdone. I don't think it's MK Ultra, classic MK Ultra. Right now, if I am the call me one feds, intel, big brother, shadow government, and you say, listen, we've got this guy that we got to get rid of. Why? His name is Charlie Kirk. Why do you want to get rid of him? Because you don't like what he said about Israel. Let's assume, okay? We don't like what he said about Israel, and we got to take him out. All right. He does a lot of public appearances. Interesting. Can you get us a patsy? Now, remember, I'm talking to somebody. Oh, yeah. What would you like? Well, is there somebody who would have a gripe or something? Yeah. Well, how about if we get somebody who claims that Charlie said something wrong about trans? I've got just the guy for you. Remember, they've got people. I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds nuts. I know it sounds strange. But as we speak, there are teams, there are narratives, there are folks who keep an eye on. There are also people, double agents within organizations that say, listen, we've got, if ever you got white supremacists, you want that? Yeah. Who is the target? A black guy? Okay, you want a white supremacist, a sniper? I got him for you. Let me check. And then I go to my division. What do we have? And it's almost like central casting. I've got this guy, this guy, this guy. Terrific. Who else can we get? Remember, they did it with Lee Harvey Oswald. They did it with Sirhan. You got somebody who's there. And all it is put him there. Put him there. That's all. We'll do the rest. We'll do the rest for you. Because when it comes to, remember, when it comes to Lee Harvey Oswald, now, Sirhan, that is most probably MK Ultra in its classic hypnotic state. So was Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon, because he showed all of the trappings of this 100%. When they found him, he said, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing? What's going on? So MK Ultra is kind of there, but it's not in that Gottlieb, the Jolly West days like they did. Remember MK Ultra, they got people like Whitey Bulger. They used Ted Kaczynski, Ken Kesey. Remember the LSD days and experiments? Oh, big time. But this is a different story. Now remember, God, I wish I could jump ahead. Tyler Robinson. I would probably say, Tyler, provided you've got something good to say, you're going to have to testify. You're going to have to testify. And many, many people say, I wouldn't want to. Because if Tyler Robinson says one of the things, Tyler Robinson can say, I don't know what you're talking about. Did you see how far? Look at the configuration of where he supposedly was and where he hit. Just look at that. Remember, now we're to the trial stage. Ask a jury. And I'm telling you right now, I normally, this is very rarely the case, but it works. Have you ever seen a jury visit? Sometimes you gotta take them there. You put them in a bus. You have bailiffs around. And all you want to do is, I just want you to see where it was that he was and where Charlie was. I want you to see this because you cannot sometimes see. I told you the story. I never imagined what the Vietnam Memorial was like until I saw it. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was a wall. There were walls all over the place. I couldn't believe it. And I thought I knew it. Sometimes you look and you say, Charlie was over there, and they want you to believe that Tyler was over there. Look at that. One shot from that guy. Carlos Hathcock was the most decorated Marine sniper. There was a Russian lady named Ludmila, something or other. She had like 300 hits. These are tough. One wrong move, one infinitesimally small, out of range, up or down, and it ends up 12 feet. One shot, one time, this guy from a rifle that was never fired because the dogs would have figured it out. I'm not saying there wasn't a fire. What's the name said? I heard a crack. You heard it. I mean, it was so. If there's one thing that is, I don't know what to make out of it. It's the crack of the rifle perfectly accompanied the wound. Perfectly. Now, the sound of the crack of the rifle perfectly matched and synchronized with that wound. Now, what can that be? I don't know. Remember, Tyler doesn't have to prove anything. Nothing. Doesn't have to prove anything. He's the defendant. You prove that. He doesn't have to say anything at all. But that's one thing I've always wondered about. And remember, if this goes so far, and I'm going to say this again, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be waiting when they finally get to the connection. This is all preliminary. And by the way, can I ask you a question? What was the purpose? Seriously speaking, what was Bagley's purpose? What was it? If Junebug or Luna, the transvestite lesbian lover, if she's there or not there, excuse me, what's the purpose of this? What is the purpose? What was the purpose? And I want you to ask a question. What did he provide? What did you learn from him? What was the purpose? He could have testified one thing. Were you there? Yes. What did you see, officer? Were you with the UVU? Yes. Okay. Were you? Yes, I was working. Were you? Yes, I was a cop. What happened? I heard a rifle. I looked. I saw what appeared to be something in the gravel, and I saw a holster, and that's it. Or whatever it was. Get to the point. That would have been 5 minutes. You don't need to show all these pictures. Is this it? Yep, that's it. Yeah, as I said, why are we doing this? Sometimes there's something so beautiful about something that's real fast. Witnesses and how juries read them are so important. Sometimes a juror can be, oh my God, they can be. Remember the case of Caracappa, Eppolito case, bad cop? The main witness was this Jewish gangster. He was so good. Not Hoffman. He was the main guy, the main witness. He was so good. And they say, state your name. He looked like an accountant. In fact, Jimmy Breslin said, you look like an accountant. He says, state your name, yes. Where do you currently reside? The Men's Correctional Institution in New York. I'm a prisoner. 30 years. Were you charged? He said, what crimes have you committed? Everything. And he just was the most incredible witness anybody's ever seen. There was another guy. His name was, he's in Philadelphia. I just thought of him right now. He was this, oh God, please forgive me. Look him up. I think he was on 60 Minutes. They put him he walked into a room. They were going to kill him. They shot him in the back of his head. I think he had 1 or 2 shots in his head. And he lived. And they killed his brother. And he was a guy who was not very smart and not very, but he said, I did it. They killed me. I did it. Did you do that? Yep, I did it. And he was they never met these people never met a hitman before. Oh, what was his name? He's out of Philly. I mean, they were spellbound. You never know what somebody is online. But that first cop, oh, dear God. Cut that one down. You see? Because of that preliminary hearing. And I'll bet you anything, the prosecutor said, I did a great job. I did a great job. Thank God there was no jury there. You want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's nothing better than no questions, nothing. I love that. You have no idea how much I love that. Because remember, you're never going to do anything with their witness. You're never going to do anything. You're never going to benefit with their witness. It's just not going to happen. There's no reason for you to do it. Now, let me go back and say this again, in case you've just tuned in. I have nothing against, I haven't brought Erica Kirk up really once, other than the fact that she's there. She's not going to testify for anything. She doesn't have to identify anything. Don't do that. She's going to have to be away from this because there's too many variables. If you've got a good case, remove all of the extraneous stuff as possible. Remove it. When I was in the OJ jury in Santa Monica, the room was the court was very, very small. And OJ was here, and Fred Goldman was here, and the daughter, I forget her name, she was next. And they were so close, they could have strangled him. They were so close. And they were looking at OJ with such contempt. And after a while, it was getting on the jurors' nerves. Even though this is the guy who killed this guy's son and this woman's brother, they were getting on their nerves because they acted like they owned the place. It was weird. I'll never forget this. And nobody thought about this. But maybe it was a courtroom, maybe it was too small. So if Erica is there, listen to what I'm saying, and Don Jr. is there. Now remember, there's no jury there now. Do you know how many people hate Trump? I'm sorry to say that. I would say, Don, do me a favor, stay home. I don't need this. I don't need this. Because this is what it is. It's got this poor kid against the Trump money and the Trump. Now, I'm not saying I believe this, but if this was a jury there, and then I would have all of my people, without me saying it. X is the new factor. X, not TikTok, X, Twitter. It's the greatest. It's the greatest. It brings people out. It's the peanut gallery. It is wonderful. And it makes people say stuff that is so incredibly, I hope you were to, how do I say this? I hope you follow my X piece, because let me show you this one thing, which is very important. And this drives people crazy because, well, that just drives people crazy. And that's kind of the way they are. That's the way it is. First and foremost, these are my thoughts and comments. I said, I have seen some boring hearings in my life, believe me. But this one may take the prize. The pace has been glacial and the presentation painfully repetitive. The judge should insist on efficiency, determine precisely what each witness is expected to establish, and move the proceedings along accordingly. After all, This is not a jury trial. The judge alone will decide whether probable cause exists to move the case forward. And believe me, he's going to find it. Absolutely. And this is important. I keep telling people the preliminary hearing is not the place to conduct a full trial or unveil every detail of the prosecutor's case. Keep it simple and direct. Do you see in the courtroom today the person who shot Charlie Kirk? Can you point the person out to the court? Let the witness identify the defendant, establish the record, and move on. That's it. During a preliminary hearing, the prosecutor should ask as few questions as necessary to establish the essential facts supporting probable cause. This is me at Lionel Media on X. The objective is not to try the case, prove a guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, or reveal the strategy. Avoid tipping your hand through excessive detail or unnecessary background questions. This is absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. This is it. Let me make sure we don't miss this because they're going to be coming back pretty soon in a moment. And also, remember this. At the point, prosecutors, defense lawyers, always be a nice guy. Always. Always be the gentleman. Always. It freaks them out when you're the nicest guy. Good morning. How are you today? What do you mean? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. This is the nicest guy in the world. He's confident. Yes, we're confident. And believe it or not, you never know when you're going to meet somebody again. You always, I cannot tell you the time after cases. We always go out for a drink. We always knew the prosecutors. No big deal. I'm not involved in this as long as somebody's not doing anything underhanded. It's never, who remembers those great, what was it, Warner Brothers? Remember when they would have the sheepdog and the coyote? Remember that? And they would say, morning, day, morning. They have the alarm or the bell. And there was one scene where the sheepdog was going to drop the coyote off the cliff, and then the whatever that whistle is, the signaling the end of the day, and he goes, oh, see you tomorrow, Dave. Okay, Sam. That's it. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. Be a gem to the judge. Never let the judge, never, ever make the judge look stupid. Never say anything like, we're getting a lousy card, where they're ruling against us. No! You're as happy as a pig in shit. You're so glad to be there. Everything's terrific. Great case, terrific. We're gonna let the facts speak for themselves. Thank you. That's it. That is it. When people try their cases, no, let other people do it for you. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily legit to do this. It may not be a good idea, but you can always have people who will come. They'll sort of catch on. And here is the thing. The most important issue. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm here to weigh evidence. I'm talking about evidence. I'm not talking about Tyler Robinson. I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm not talking about names. I'm not talking about names. I'm not saying nothing happened. I'm not saying Charlie Kirk's not dead. I'm not saying he wasn't killed. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying I'm not saying anybody's innocent. That's a term we don't use. Innocent until proven guilty. Presumption of innocence. Wrong. I don't know what innocence means. All I know is simply this. Simply this. We have one standard. And I know this sounds boring, but it's the truth because juries have to be able to understand it. You have to be proud of your verdict and you have to be able to say, did the state prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt? That's it. Not, what do I think? What do I think happened? Do I think he was Mossad? Do I think this was an Israel hit? Do I think that Erica Kirk? No. Did they prove it? And if you can say to yourself, well, I don't think so, because of the fact that there's this gun that they never connected, I'm going to find them not guilty. That's it. That's not a statement against the police. It's not a statement against TPUSA. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean any of that. All it means is you said sorry. And I always give the analogy of you're a radiologist. You're holding up an x-ray. This leg is broken. This femur is broken. Or a pregnancy test. Pregnant, not pregnant. That's it. There's no, I don't, balls and strikes. When you remove the jury away from that, when you make them seem like, oh, okay. And by the way, your job is also not to prove anything. We don't, in fact, they're always told, don't visit the crime scene. Don't go there. Don't ask people what they think. Your job is not to ask. We're not trying, this is not an inquest. We're not trying to find out what happened. We're just asking you a very simple question. Did it or not? Did you prove? It's like you have this pregnancy test and it's defective and the sign part is missing, the plus or the whatever. And you say, I can't tell. It's not guilty. Yeah, but what do you think? I don't know. You want to take a look at her? No, I don't want to take a look at her. No, I can't tell. I can't tell. If you have an x-ray and it's blurred or something wasn't developed correctly, you hold that x-ray up. You can't tell. It doesn't mean nobody's leg is broken. It means I can't tell. I can't give you this answer. I'm here for one reason and one reason only. Do I sign off on this? And when you tell juries that, when they really understand it, things are so much better. So anyway, my friends, this is great. Any questions, any thoughts, any input prior to us going back, because I think they're going to be. Court TVs on YouTube. The trial is back on. Is that what we're saying? I've got right now. I'm looking here and I'm saying, I don't see the trial back on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't refresh my thing. Sorry about that, old friends. Thank you so very much. I love you. We'll talk later. Don't forget. See you later. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and make sure you are aware we'll regroup tonight. So find out when. Anyway, let's go back to the trial. Monkey's dead. Show's over. So you. Ta-ta.